Hi Neil, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, Renato?
I'm great. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Uh, you star in my favorite TV show ever, Desperate Housewives. I love Dave Williams.
Oh, he's so awesome.
He's one of the best characters, so complex.
Dave Williams, I've had so much mileage because of Dave Williams. I remember we were filming it. I would have ladies walk up to me on the street and slap me. They would take their pocketbooks and hit me on, how dare you do that to Edie, you stink. And it was one of those, kind of guilty pleasures playing someone so deliciously awkward and evil and weird, yet cool at some points. And Dave Williams, I miss that guy. He was so much fun to play.
And now you're in the last rodeo. The movie is so nice. It's so beautiful. And you helped write the movie. So how was that process about writing it?
It was. I was driving home one day from set. I was doing another Western at the time called The Warrant that Reve and I were producing. And Reve was home and I was on set in Arizona. And I just got buckled with this thought, what would ever happen to me if something happened to my wife, Reve? And then this idea, from this Western culture, I just started writing the script. And within a couple of hours, I knew I had something kind of special. And I called my writing partner and I said, let's work on this. And within a week, we had a draft. And a week later, we had it all set up and financed. It was the fastest. And this again, when you do things that give glory to God, you don't have to have any fear. You know it's going to be led by Him and everything's possible. And to play a villain like Dave Williams, to play a villain for 25 years since I met Ravan, I wouldn't kiss another woman on screen. I had to be a villain to provide for our family. And then when I had the opportunity to play a good guy, you generally in Hollywood, if you're a bad guy, you stay as a bad guy. If you're a good guy, you stay as a good guy. You might get one chance to cross over, but you don't get to do it very often. So for me, in the last couple of years, like back here, Homestead, and of course, Last Rodeo, all through Angel Studios, I've had the opportunity to play the hero now, and I love it. And I finally get to kiss the girl in the end, and the girl I get to kiss is my very own wife, Reve, in the movie, who plays my wife. So we kind of got to this spot where I think we finally made it, and we made it because we're doing films that give glory to him. And boy, I'll tell you right now, it is a humbling feeling to have something that's been so successful as the Last Rodeo, knowing that it's going to come out in a country that loves bull riding so much, that loves faith so much, that loves God so much and family. This is a film that I think is going to do so very well in Brazil because this is exactly the type of film that Brazil would love.
And you talk about kissing your wife. You went viral this year because you say you could not kiss another woman on screen and you're blacklisted in Hollywood. How did you feel about that? And you're allowed to kiss your wife in the movies? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, yeah. I had some problems because there's certain things I wouldn't do, but if it weren't for those speed bumps, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't. You have to go through hard times in life to really figure out who you exactly are and what are you prepared to do the right thing. And everyone gets beaten down at some point in life. Everyone, I don't care who you are. You're going to go through some difficult times in life. But I found that when I finally got through the difficult times that I was going through, it was my faith that was lacking. And once I started to build my faith back up and talking to God all the time and asking Him to do whatever He wants me to do. My boss is God. And Reve and I have one boss, and that's God. And we'll do anything that it takes to give Him glory and thank Him for the life that He's given us. So now we get to write films that talk about Him and talk about family and talk about faith and talk about flaws and talk about all those things. And that's Brazil. The Brazilian Catholics, the Irish Catholics, we have that same kind of mentality, that tough as nails type of mentality, but a big heart. But if you mess with our family, we get a little ornery, and we bite back. And I think that's why this film is going to resonate so well with Brazilians because it is all about family. What are you prepared to do to help your family? And I'm so proud of this film, and I can't wait to see what the numbers are in Brazil because I know it's going to explode down. It's crushed it in the United States. The Brazilian culture. You are rodeo, you are bull riding. Half of the riders in our film are from Brazil. One of the lead actors is also from Brazil. So there's that inherent toughness and not complaining from the Brazilian riders that I love so much. And that's who I am. That's what we wrote to, and that's what the film's all about.
And Angel Studios is changing Hollywood with these Catholic movies and religious movies. Uh, why do you think the audience is buying these movies much more now than in the past?
Well, I think Hollywood got really dark for quite some time, and they made a lot of films. They made some great films, and I'm guilty of being part of some of the dark films. You know, as a villain, that's part of my career. But I think there's been a shift in, in the family films, where the family films have always been kind of like sweet and not real. I think we're making family films now, at least at Angel, that what we've been doing is making family films that talk about real family issues, death, cancer, losing your wife. What are you prepared to do, to protect your family? Those are the things that I think people love to see at the movie theaters, and they're going to the theaters to see film. The numbers on The Last Rodeo have been crazy, just mind-blowingly awesome. And it's because it speaks to every family, not just some families. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Christian or Jewish or Muslim or agnostic. People want to see films where they learn and they feel better about themselves when they're done, and they're kind of uplifted by the end of the film. There's a reason why Rocky was one of the most successful films of all time. It wasn't a very expensive film, but it talked exactly about those same things. And not to steal from Sylvester Stallone, but if you're going to steal from somebody, you want to steal from the best. And I consider Sylvester Stallone possibly the most successful guy in Hollywood. To start with nothing and to create all the shows and movie franchises that he has done, he knows what works. And so Last Rodeo, we stole that from a Sylvester Stallone playbook, and the numbers have been awesome. And I'm so blessed to be here right now talking to you about it, Renato, about our beautiful film, The Last Rodeo.
We had Son of Freedom here in Brazil, which was a blast in the box
Huge,
office.
huge in the box office.
Huge. Yeah. And let's talk about the bull riding scenes. Did you have to practice? Is you in that bull, riding that bull in the scenes?
I practiced for 6 months probably beforehand, getting my butt handed to me on mechanical bulls, lots of horses, lots of riding, lots of everything, just to get in that authentic shape. But I wanted to make sure that if you saw me on the bull, you knew that I knew exactly what I was doing. I would work for hours and hours every day, just where my hands should be, where my seat should be, how I should get up on it, where I'm looking, how to nod, how to get the gate open, and like all kinds of little things that the riders do. I studied so hard, and I think that I think we came out with something that's pretty special and unique. And those bulls are mean; they are beasts. And to see the Brazilian riders, especially when we were filming, PBR gave us the bulls and they gave us the riders, and you know these were tough bulls, and these were the off days for the riders. They compete on the weekends, but we asked them to ride during the week, and we had 2 days to get all the 50 rides. We had to get them done in 2 days. And the guys who were the toughest and the guys who lasted the 8 seconds more than anybody, of course, were the Brazilians. Sorry, American guys. I know you're going to be mad at me for saying that, but the Brazilian guys were just a little tougher in the ring those days. So there's something just inherently decent about the people from Brazil. I can't wait to get down there. I can't wait to be part of it and meet everyone. And I can't wait to see everyone going to the cinemas and supporting this film, because this is the type of film that if Brazil really supports this film, which I know they're going to, but if you really go to the cinema and buy tickets for your kids and your friends and your aunts and uncles and everybody, and you go to the movie and support this film, there'll be more films like this in Brazil. And who knows, maybe The Last Rodeo Part 2 or Part 3 will shoot it down in Brazil and really go down with Adriano and make sure it's really as authentic as possible. So uh, please go out and support it, because it would mean a lot to us. It would mean a lot to God. It would mean a lot to everyone. And supporting it will tell Hollywood we need more films like this.
And did you get to watch some Brazilian rodeos tapes? Because rodeo here is huge. Like everybody goes to rodeos.
I think rodeo is bigger there. Bull riding is bigger in Brazil than it is in the United States, and it's massive here. But it's just caught. It's always been that way. It's that cowboy culture that Brazilian people don't realize. What cowboys really are. The tough cowboys are. Those Brazilian those guys are nuts. And it was great to be around it.
And there was a lot of talks back to Desperate Housewives about beefs on set, a lot of fighting. Was it that a tense set to do? And how was the mood on the last Hodel set?
The mood on Desperate Housewives was so misreported. These girls got along so well. It was such a great time. Reve and I, we only had two of our five kids at the time. But we'd be hanging out in set all the time. We'd be hanging out in the swing sets on Wisteria Lane while Dad's inside doing horrible things to people. So it was this great family atmosphere, and I loved, loved, loved being part of Desperate Housewives. The same thing on Last Rodeo. Reve and I, this is our baby. So we picked everybody. We picked, from the director, the amazing, incredible John Avnet, who just was so instrumental in the success of this film. He is my favorite director I've ever worked with, and I've worked with some great directors. There's no one like John Avnet. No one. I'm in a really great time in my life right now, and I'm so blessed to be here where I am, and so humbled that, our amazing film, The Last Rodeo, is coming out in Brazil, that I know is going to be just a smash hit down there. So I just want to tell everyone in Brazil, thank you so much for supporting the film already. All the well wishes that I've received so far, and everyone saying, I can't wait for it to come down to Brazil. I can't wait for it to be released. Thank you, Brazil, for being such great supporters of the film.
Neil, thank you very much. I'm a huge fan. I'm dying to Brazilians to go watch the movie because I know they're gonna love it. Thank you
Go,
very much for your
go, Brazil.
time.
Go support the film, Brazil. I need your help. Let's go make more films and great films about family.
Thank you very much. Kisses
Yeah.
from Brazil.
All right. God bless you. Thank you.